Tonight we take this opportunity to thank the presidents that brought the young Israel of Great Neck from a small minyan in a basement over the course of years to the tremendous and vibrant shul that we have today.
Aviva and I moved to Great Neck in January of 1974. Our first Shabbos in Great Neck was the first Shabbos of what became the Young Israel of Great Neck. It started in somebody's living room.
We moved here in 1976. The Young Israel was located in a very different location. It was a storefront. It was a very small crowd, mostly people that at the time we felt were older, and we were the young kids on the block. It was very warm and very friendly. You walked in the doors and you knew everybody.
Every Shabbos, Mrs. Lang would cook her baked goods, and then we'd clean up the shul afterwards. You basically had your chores to do, almost like a regular family. So that was the fun part of building the shul right from scratch.
Bill Kuhfeld would walk around and count, well, we got a minyan before 9:03 or 9:05, because very often we did not get a minyan. We were fortunate to have one family who had several sons, the Lang family, and the Lewinter family with their children. And so we knew if they were here, we stood a better chance of getting a minyan.
Sometimes they didn't have a minyan. So I'd be running down Middle Neck Road at like 6:15 in the morning or 6:30, and Bill Kuhfeld would be standing out on the street, and he'd wave over and say, "Bobby, we need you." And I'd have to run over in my running outfit to help them make a minyan.
People slowly started to move in, and someone would get up and say, well, we have another new family. Who's going to go over and visit them and hope that we can convince them that the Young Israel of Great Neck was the right place to be.
We loved it here from day one. Young Israel became our second home instantly.
When we first came here, people enveloped us, and we really just felt like we belonged from the first Shabbos we were here.
In the old days, it was almost like a given. You were going to be a shul leader. We wanted to be shul leaders, and we wanted to help the shul grow. We took on many roles over the years. We were even the first youth leaders.
He was a fabulous youth director, and I remember he started, I believe he called it Sunday Fun Day. Tara was very much involved with him in these programs. As soon as young people came in, they had to become active, and they did.
I became a Gabbai after being here for a year, served as Gabbai Rishon for 5 years before I became president, so I was really pulled in right away, and I was very happy to serve.
I was a Gabbai at first, and then at some point, my wife Allegra got very involved with the youth. She became involved with the construction project.
When I was asked to serve as president, I have to say I considered it a privilege.
It was really a tremendous honor when Eric and Avi asked me if I would serve as president. At the time, no one had heard of COVID. It hadn't even happened yet. Little did I know what would come next, but then again, you don't get to choose your challenges when you're president. I'm very proud of the way we came through it.
I've gotten a lot from this shul, okay? Really, it was a way to give back to the institution.
The thing I'm most grateful for is that my presidency occurred before Elliot Piser's. Elliot Piser is an impossible act to follow. Kol hakavod to you, Elliot, for bringing laughter back to the shul.
With all the things going on, I only wanted to be as funny as Arthur Talansky. I couldn't do it. I certainly tried.
The best part about being the president of the Young Israel of Great Neck is being an ex-president. I get to enjoy the perks of the Young Israel of Great Neck. Great seats here at Madison Square Garden. I got here by taking a Young Israel Great Neck Uber, like a credit card given to me as a past president. And I get to use the Young Israel Great Neck credit card for everything all my purchase. So I advise you, if you don't want to become a president of the Young Israel of Great Neck, please become an ex-president.
Under Rabbi Lerner's leadership, the shul developed from like mom and pop, barely, existing, to this huge, very significant Orthodox institution in our community.
Great Neck was a very different place. There weren't kosher restaurants, there were no kosher pizza shops, there were no butchers. But under Rabbi Lerner's leadership, there was a great sense of mission.
Well, Rabbi Lerner was a special type of rabbi. He also exemplified honesty and integrity, a great teacher.
There were many members who had essentially grown up with Rabbi Lerner as their rabbi, and entire families relied on him in so many ways. So now we're passing on the torch to our young new rabbi, to Rabbi Ismach.
Rabbi Basaleli also had an excellent influence, particularly on my sons. You know, they would talk to him and learning a lot. My oldest son sometimes would ask him shilas and things like that.
A lot of my connection to the Young Israel now is really through Rabbi Goldstein. He was the one that encouraged me year after year after year to get into Daf Yomi.
I see the future of our shul with Rabbi Yismach and Rabbi Basalali, Rabbi Eric Goldstein giving the Daf Yomi, Dr. Schiffman giving all the many classes that he gives in this shul. And I think the Young Israel of Great Neck has afforded us a magnificent Masorah, a treasure that makes it easy to pass it on to the next generation.
Our shul is not lacking in people who dedicate their time and devotion to the shul's activities and to the needs of the shul.
I was very fortunate to have three fellows who were very good advisors to me, Irv Golumbek, Dave Kalish, and Lanny Oppenheim. And I remember one of the congregants called us the Kabul together, and to this day we're very good friends.
Whenever I had questions when I was president, Lloyd was a great go-to person for advice.
Lloyd was my predecessor, and he would call me once a week and check up on me, you know, like a mental health check.
Arthur Luxemburg was very much involved with, I would say, the day-to-day activities of the shul. David Justin. Nothing went on during my presidency that David either didn't support or didn't encourage.
My predecessor was Morty Dicker. I would go to him for advice a lot. Eric Rosen as well, who had preceded Morty.
The most influential person on me was Bill Kufeld. Bill really took me under his wing. He encouraged me to daven more, to really up my game religiously.
Michael Frank. After 9/11, Michael was called upon to speak. His level of compassion was beyond anything I had ever experienced, and even to today, I well up in tears when I think about how beautifully he spoke and the comfort he gave to all of us.
The first question I asked was, would Nessim Tamam still continue to act as Vice President of House? Because frankly, without him, I don't know how I would do it. Just a tremendous dedication. There's no member, I think, in the shul that does more for the shul than Nessim does.
The Gabayim here are amazing. Aaron and Charlie in particular, it's just week in, week out. It's a responsibility that never ends.
Aaron is great. He's such a musical talent. He's a man with tremendous energy. We've grown together as Gabayim. We are very close personal friends, and I think it's a case where 1 and 1 equals 3.
It's very difficult because you want to make sure everybody gets what is appropriately due them. And you don't want to hurt anybody.
Not everybody wants to be a gabbai, but for me, this has been a wonderful experience. I watched Bill Kufeld, how he did that with such a talent, and I've tried to emulate that as much as I can in making people feel welcome in our community.
Being a gabbai, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of pressure, and Aaron and Charlie, the fact they've been doing it for so many years is just amazing.
Shoshana is a one-person show, okay, that is the glue that holds the institution together.
Oh, Shoshana was incredible. You know, she's always calm and cool.
Shoshana is, I think, the nerve center.
Over the years, she's always been most helpful to me in any matter I've ever called her as a gabbai or with the shul.
She's got the pulse of the shul. She knows everything.
She knows every personality. She knows every character. She knows everything that ever happened in the shul. She can think of things that nobody else can think of because they just don't have that experience.
Shoshana Sokol, the best part of my job while president was speaking to you on a daily basis. I thank you for everything you've done and will continue to do for the shul.
You know, my kids always had a reason to come here, whether it was friends, whether it was a youth leader they looked up to, whether it was a youth director that they looked up to.
My kids all loved growing up here in Great Neck. I think they all loved the shul, and they loved all the different youth activities that were available to them.
I had 2 young children when we moved in, and we added a third. And the shul was a big part of their life, and they all became youth leaders.
I think it was important for my 3 daughters to see that, you know, being part of the community is a significant responsibility and a real mitzvah.
As I walk down the hall to my office every single day, I walk by all the portraits of the presidents. And I'm reminded every single time I open that door that despite all of the work that I do, despite all of the work that for decades Rabbi Leonard did before me, it's the lay leadership that makes everything in the shul really happen.
I would say that being the president of Young Israel Great Neck was one of the proudest few years that I've spent in my life.
It was one of the more meaningful periods of my life, and something I will never forget.
Once you're a president of an institution, the institution's always part of your life. So, I'll always be grateful for the opportunity I got to be the president.
Mazal Tov, I'm speaking to you from our home in Israel. In spite of everything happening around us, life here is wonderful. Mazal Tov to the Young Israel Great Neck are reaching this milestone year, and Yesha Kol to all those who made it happen.
When you see the seats filled here on a Shabbos or a Yontiv or even during the week, or you see a successful event and you realize you had a hand in it, that's an incredible reward.
It's still a small group of people dedicated to one another. And we laugh together, we dance together, we cry together, we mourn together. It's a real kahila.
The reward that I receive by sitting in my usual seat in shul on Shabbos or Yontif and seeing how the shul has grown tremendously and how beautiful it is a reward that one can't measure. And it means a lot to me.